what's up guys, Dan H, welcome to the project. Today I'm going to tackle the outer axle tube seals, and I'm also going to put in the driver's side U-joint and hub. Before I get started, I'm going to use penetrating oil. So shout out to 1993 Cherokee and Doug from D&D in the Garage. When it comes to penetrating oil, I always say early and often, because you want to give this stuff time to soak in there, and too much can't hurt. So we're going to kick off this project by soaking it in penetrating oil. I'm just hitting the hole bolts, and I'm hitting the U-joints right now. Cool. So I'm going to give this time to soak in. Hopefully the rain will stop, and then we can start working on this thing when it's dry a little bit later. Alright guys, we are back. It stopped raining and the sun's out. The ground's still a little bit wet, but we got a mission to do. It's going to be putting in these axle tube seals for a Dana 30 and a Dana 44. They are 10 factory, part number MG21103. It's about $50 on eBay, so I want to get these in. Along the way, I'm going to be filming this, but you already saw me do the U-joint and the hub, so I'm not really going to pay too much attention to that. That's all in the other videos. I will be stopping, however, to show you the points that you guys gave me good tips on. So we're going to do that. Penetrating oil was in nice and early this morning in the rain, so that's been soaking all day. And I'm going to show you why I want to use these and why these are a good idea. So you can see that while I jack this up and get started. Let's do it.
Okay, why I want to use outer axle tube seals? Well, first of all, look at all the crap that pours out of the axle tube as I slide this axle shaft out. And there, right at the end, check out the condition of those splines. Look how good they are. And now here you see 3 axles up on the bench. Now what is with this thing? This does nothing. Like I said before, I think it's a joke. Everything beyond this and even under this flange is completely rusted. If we could put something on the outside, it might help the inner seals last a little longer.
Why do we have to let our inner axle seals do all the work? So the goal is we're going to put in the axle seals, we're going to clean this up, and hopefully this will never get pitted again. Alright, we're going to get after it with the DeWalt. Hopefully it goes as smooth as it did with that rusted front end. I have faith though. Yeah. All right, shout out to Sean McDonald. Here's where his hub trick comes into play. The best hub hack ever. I'm gonna thread back a hub bolt on either side, and gonna give them a whack. Alright, I think the best way for this trick to work is to take off this tie rod end. I want full access so I can swing the hammer and hit right on the back of that hub bolt. Then I can eject the hub straight out. No worries. All right, tie rod dropped, easy peasy. You know what? Next time I'm just gonna drop the tie rod first. Am I recording? I want to make sure I got that. Yes, I'm recording. was easy. Here we go. Thanks again, Sean. Look at that. It still sees to the dust shield, but it's off. Ugh, got it. Here she comes.
Okay, so the shaft is out, and this is probably the best view I could give you of the inside of the axle tube. But you can see I'm scrubbing the heck out of it with my wire brush. I also went back in again with some more brake cleaner, and I'm trying to get as much crap out of it as possible. I wiped it down, and then I toasted it with the torch to burn off any additional oils and grease. And I hit it again with some more brake clean and wiped it all out with a paper towel. I want this as clean as possible so the RTV makes good contact and I get no leaks. I also went Dan H on the knuckle. I hit it with some brake clean, scrubbed it up, and then painted it nice and neat.
Alright, so now I'm going to take out my new Babe Ruth Yankee knife and I'm going to open up my axle seal box. There is no instructions in here, but from what I've saw online, you're going to want to get this axle tube as clean as possible, which I've done, and you're going to want to use RTV all over this thing so it makes a nice good seal. So the way I'm going to install them is I'm going to put the grease fitting towards the back so no junk and debris gets all over it while I'm driving, and RTV, I'm going to pop it in. Gonna give it a healthy dose. And I got a 2x3. Gonna hit it in the back with the hammer. Get it nice and square in there. And she's in. Alright, I'm going to let the RTV firm up and I'm going to pop in the new U-joint.
So if your axle shafts are really rusty and corroded, you're going to want to clean this up. Having nice smooth axle shafts will prolong the life of those seals. And yeah, right here I went to town on these clips with the angle grinder because I didn't want to waste any time. And like the Cobra Kai,
show no mercy. Alright, got the first two clips off, and the next tip I got was from Rob R. Thank you, Rob. I got myself a nice ball joint puller. Now I'm just going to press these caps right out. Yeah, baby.
What is this garbage?
Do not use impact wrench.
No way. No way.
so yes, I defied the instructions and I used an impact gun on my puller.
Ugh.
Word of advice, if you're gonna use the impact gun, make sure you remove all the clips. It's very important. Don't ask me how I know.
Beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy peasy. Thanks again, Rob.
And I suppose painting is optional. And right here, this step is optional and probably less than necessary, but I'm chipping out all the gross rust and grime from the yoke and cleaning it up and painting that too. Always make sure when you're reinstalling the U-joint, don't use the impact gun. Tap those caps in with a hammer or use a regular socket on your press.
Alright, I just wanted to show you guys really quick on the bench before I put this thing in the Jeep where the axle is going to sit when the axle tube seal is inserted. Now, the notch right here, this little lump where that stupid flange was, when this is fully inserted into the axle tube, this hump rides nice and neat in between these two lips of the seal. So yeah, that's that. It's going in. Alright guys, the axle seal is in. I'm just going to line it with grease and slide the axle in.
Alright, so far everything is going to plan. I'm installing the new hub, and since the old one was pretty good, I plan to keep that one as a spare. So continuing on with the assembly, make sure everything's torqued down correctly. I'm going with 150 foot-pounds plus on the axle nut, using the rotor and the screwdriver trick. And I'm doing 80 foot-pounds on the hub bolts. And back on goes the caliper. So over here I'm jumping onto the passenger side. Everything came out nice and smooth because I just had it apart a week ago. But this is all before I realized there was a problem. I'm not sure if the casting of the Dana 30 front ends vary from ear to ear, but I gotta warn you, there might be some clearance issues with the grease fitting, and I didn't even realize it until I got done with the passenger side seal. There just wasn't enough room to get the grease gun on. Now I don't know if they make low profile grease guns, but I certainly don't have one, so there was nothing else to do but to try to clearance some of that meat off the Dana 30. Right now, there's no way I'm pulling that axle seal back out, so I'm trying real hard not to grind down the lip of that grease fitting. Took a little while, but I got it, and of course, I gave it a little spritz of some spray paint to help prevent rust. So now that all that was taken care of, I tested the grease gun once again, and it fit beautifully. It clicked on nice and smooth, so I inserted the axle and topped it off with grease.
Sweet.
But of course I had to go back and check out the driver's side, and sure enough, this needed some clearancing too. Now I might have known this would have been an issue if this came with some instructions, but it didn't. If I were to do it all over again, I would have clearanced this out before I put in the axle tube seals. So when you guys try this, I strongly recommend you grind it down about 1/16 of an inch. So there we go. She's full of grease, and you know it's full when it starts to come out around the axle shaft. And now there's nothing left to do but pop the wheels on and go for a test drive. Now this job was a pretty long day's work, and once I got on the road there was a lot on my mind. But all I could say was,
Wow, she is running smooth. Okay guys, I'm tired, cold, and dirty, but I am done. I may have went a little bit overboard because I changed the diff fluid also. It's not included in this video, obviously, but it might be in a video down the road. You don't have to change your diff fluid. I did because I just wanted to be done with that front end. Everything is pretty much complete in it. So yeah, the outer axle tube seals. They're actually very easy to put in. Once you get past the hub and the axle, we all know how that could go. But the construction of them, I think they're very well made. They have a nice solid ABS plastic, and they take a good beating. I was hitting them with the sledgehammer and the 2x3, so they're durable. I also really like the way they engineered them. I think the two seals line up with that protruding part of the axle very nicely, hence creating the seal. So that's really good. There's also a snap ring, so it looks like you can take the seal out, I guess when they go bad, but it didn't come with instructions, and I haven't seen any separate seals online, so I'm wondering if that's actually true. But if your axle shafts are in the condition like mine were, you're going to want to sand them down before you put them back in. I went a little Dan H on them. I guess you could call it overkill. And I sanded mine, I painted mine, but I had something to do while I let the RTV set up. So yeah. I definitely recommend cleaning out all the junk and rust from inside that axle tube. You're going to want to put the seal in when it's nice and clean to let the RTV have something to grip onto. Yeah, so the next time you need to replace a U-joint or a hub, or you want to upgrade your axle shafts to chromoly, why not pop in those seals? It's a perfect time for it. It's much better than these factory garbage pieces of plastic. Why not keep your stuff looking new? Big announcement. On Saturday, February 23rd, I am heading down to Jersey. I'm going to meet up with Doug and Eric from D&E in the Garage, and we are going to do the polar plunge. Yes, it is crazy to jump in the Atlantic Ocean in February, but it's for a good cause. We are going to raise some money, or trying to raise some money for the Special Olympics. So down there in the comments, I'm going to leave a link to all of our pages. If you guys want to donate any amount of money, we'd really appreciate it. A little bit could go a long way, so thank you if you want to do that. And my last shout out goes to Frank the Cad Monkey. There's nothing wrong with asking the big man upstairs for a little help, a little wisdom, and a little safety when you're working on a Jeep. Why not, right? All you gotta do is ask. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Once again, thank you very much for all your tips, all your feedback. The Jeep community is really strong on YouTube, and you guys have been awesome. So thank you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next project.